interesting. I was thinking about when did that change happen, and I'm going to go back to that question a little bit and ask you to explore. Do you have a memory of when? Did it bother you when you saw the change from the Quivering Flowers to what you see now in films?
No, I don't think it bothered. In fact, it was interesting. It was a change. I think recently this movie called Salam Namaste spoke about living relationships, and they handled the subject really well. It was interesting to see it, and it felt normal. I think that's where the change came.
I have a question. The question was, I think why PDA or the sexuality in movies is depicted the way it is because people in society at large, they consider sex to be, or display of sex and sexual acts to be a corruptive force. Is it the corruptive force that was misunderstood earlier that's now being clarified out in the movies to say, oh, it's not that corruptive, you know, it's just sex?
That's an interesting question. Are we reaching that point, some sort of enlightenment?
See, again, I'll go back to what I had said, and I would public display of affection. I can look at it in two ways, and I'm talking of real scenarios. Do I practice it? Do I like people who practice it? Or can I stand people who practice it? Now take the same scenario in cinema. Do you like watching an actor and an actress displaying, and it's a very simple thing, for taking Ishqiya as an example. Vidya, that whole scene, and knowing Abhishek, the director of that film, is a friend, he wrote that scene to annoy people who are watching the film at that point of time, because it's a little disgusting the way the two characters are targeting Vidya.
Sure.
Yeah, with their different mindsets. Like one is a 55-year-old man and the other is a younger. And then during the promos, or Trailer Wizards or whoever cut the promos tried to show the same sequence from the film. Now, just watching the sequence in isolation makes you feel, oh, they've done it in the film. There must be something to see. You know, let's go for it.
Well, that's how they make promos
that's the commercial market.
That's the commercial market. But thankfully, in case of Ishqiya, when you go to watch the film, you do realize that it's not, the film doesn't have that sex sequence just to sell, as opposed to a jism or a murder, where the promos, all I remember was Imran's mouth in the heroines.
Right. And
that's the only visual I have of that film.
Yeah, that's the length of the tongue. Yeah, that's all.
That's all. And if I'm not mistaken, in Murder, that's all there was there in the film also. So
even a film like Jawani Diwani was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. I swear.
You know, I don't like the word that you used, corruptive. You know why? I'll tell you why. You know, when we grow up, our parents tell, don't get into a relationship with this girl or that girl. It's corruptive. Does it stop you from hitting onto girls?
No, it doesn't. That's what I'm saying. Whatever was taboo, whatever was understood to be taboo, now is being clarified to say, no, it's not that taboo.
You know, I think we all have choices to make. Either we see a film or we don't see a film. Either we enjoy that sex scene or we don't enjoy the sex scene. That also depends on how it is handled. You know, I think cheap handling example would be Jawani Diwani, and great movie making example would be Devti. Those are the two universes. You know, it's the universe. It covers it all.
I think you used the word lust.
Lust, yes, that's what Ishqiya was.
No, I think any man and woman, and let's be honest here, this is the problem with our country. Begins with lust. Yes, let's be honest about this, yeah?
Absolutely.
And that's the biggest problem with, and I'm talking about my parents. Are you telling me that your father and my father didn't watch MMS clips if they had the option?
I'm sure they would have.
They would have, absolutely. But when you talk to them about it as kids, yeah? My uncles, I remember I had spoken to my uncle about sanitary. As a kid, I would see an ad and I would ask him, what the hell is this? Because I was inquisitive, and he would say, nahi, ye sab baat nahi karte. Even now, when you go to a chemist, they wrap it in a newspaper and give it to you. I mean, what is that? I was at Hypercity the other day. There is a huge counter of Durex Play there. Like a huge counter. And I intentionally stood around for 5 minutes, not one person stopped there. The most someone did was, there was a Protein X ka counter next to it. He went to it and tried to have a little peep as to what. I mean, what's wrong? Go pick it up. You'll go home and do it. Everyone does it. So So it's all rooted deep inside from the country we come from and stuff like that surrounds. And it's changing because people are moving out of their comfort zone. And that's why people are seeing it. That's why a film like LSD has gone and done well. I went to Delhi and on the second weekend during the promotions, and I saw this old uncle and auntie sitting and watching the film. And they came to me and they said, very nice. For me, I called Debakar immediately and I said, a 60-year-old man and woman said this, and he was pleased because that's what the idea is, that it's okay to talk about it. It's there. There's a film that's released yesterday, God bless them. The Ek Second Jo Zindagi Badal.
Wow.
I saw the promo yesterday and I saw Saif's ex-girlfriend in it. And there was a weird shot where the jib went from here to... And it was just bizarre. I mean, why would you do that?
I think the reason it doesn't change is because it's a whole society that needs to change. Every Bollywood movie, say till the 90s, we had PDA, it was great, most romantic movie, but there was no sex scene, no kissing, nothing. Why? Because it was a whole attitude that, okay, if you kiss, you have to marry. Okay, if you do, you know what I'm trying to say? It's a whole psychological change that needs to be brought in, which is coming in slowly now. That's why we are seeing movies like Devdi and LSD.
Another thing that a movie has gone through the industry is that, and I'm sure you'll second it, is the emergence of multiplex. You know, PDA and multiplex has a very strong connection. You know, now the majority of people going to watch a movie is the youth. They know about kissing, they know about sex, they know about positions, they know about everything. You know, but then you had no option for a movie. You know, it was either a cricket match or a movie. You know, and movie with who? The entire family. You can't have a kissing scene or a sex scene when the entire family is sitting and watching. Whereas now, the youth will go and say, okay, flower twitching, fuck off. You know, because this is not what I do. Because they know what they do. You know, I think that's interesting.
That stems from reality. Because I'm asking you, would you sit here if two people sitting here had their tongues in each other's mouth? Would it embarrass you? It will make you uncomfortable. Therefore, filmmakers don't put it on screen because they know it makes you uncomfortable. You like to watch soft romance, they give you soft romance. Now the youth, the multiplex audience as you mentioned, is changing. I was, Andheri, Infinity Mall, I was walking the other day and I was very embarrassed. There was a couple that was like, jolly good making out like, poof, it was, seriously. And I was really embarrassed because maybe I'm a boring person, but it was just, I got really uncomfortable. But people do it, people want to see it. So you see more and more of it. In I Hate Love Stories, you see more of Imran taking his shirt off than perhaps Sonam. Because girls now are coming forward and saying, we want to see that, so give it. Earlier it was just for men, so women used to take their clothes off. Now it's happening the other way around because that's the demand of the society.